I have said that the high likelihood is that this is a natural occurrence. I didn't dismiss anything. I said it's a high likelihood that this is a natural occurrence from the environment of an animal reservoir that we have not yet identified. And I still maintain that. But as I just mentioned to the response to other questions, that since you don't know 100% about that, because no one knows, including me, 100% what the origin is the reason why we're in favor of further investigation.
Well, given everything I've just cited, and if anything I just cited is incorrect, I hope it'll be correct that I'm relying, obviously it's not my field of study, so I'm relying on what other experts have published. What is the basis for this what is the basis for the conclusion that it is likelier to have been naturally occurring than a lab accident? I asked a specific question to the Director of National Intelligence, and how I posed it is it not true that it is the assessment that they are equally likely based on our information that we have? So as I outline all of these things here, is she wrong when she answered me yes? And based on everything I've just cited, what is it that we're basing the higher likelihood of naturally occurring? Is it simply because that's all we've ever seen in the past?
Well, we have historical experience that happened with SARS-CoV-1. It happened with MERS. It happened with HIV. It happened with virtually all the influenza pandemics. So the historical basis for pandemics.
I've actually lost 113 pounds. I'm not paid for this interview.
How much have you lost overall?
Oh my gosh. All right, this is the best part. I lost 70 pounds. I saw results fast. I lost 15 pant sizes.
Literally 32% body fat when I started, and I'm 16.6 now. I went from 189 pounds to 136 pounds. I actually saw results.
Pandemics evolving naturally from an animal reservoir is extremely strong. And it's for that reason that we felt that something similar like this has a much higher likelihood. But again, getting back to what I said, and let me repeat so there's no lack of clarity in that, no one knows, not even I, 100% at this point, which is the reason why we are in favor of further investigation.
But going back to precedent, the precedents require them to be similar. The difference between this one and that one is, as I said, 4 months we knew the host for SARS, 9 months we knew the host for MERS. China has all the incentive in the world to produce this host and hasn't done so. And then you add up all these other things. I mean, is it just a coincidence that happened in the city that's doing this kind of research, which, by the way, is controversial? I know you and others have been supportive of it, but it's controversial. It's not widely accepted as good. My whole point is there are people out there who had Facebook posts taken down, were called kooks, conspiracy theorists, for saying publicly a year ago what we now say may be possible. And I think those people deserve an apology at a minimum. Thank you.
The headline like that of this morning could very well cause some real setbacks. I see my time has expired.
Dr. Fauci, in a recent British study, David Wiley and others found that no symptomatic reinfections from COVID-19 after following 2,800 patients for several months. In fact, there have been no reports of significant numbers of reinfections after acquiring COVID-19 naturally. Shane Crotty, a virologist at
Rachel, I feel like I have a very bad case of whiplash where we're told, on the campaign trail, President Trump, where's your plan? You don't have one. I've got one. Then there is no federal government response. And then there's cleanup on aisle 5 with the White House Twitter feed, the chief of staff, and finally President Biden saying he now has a federal plan. It's just all head spinning.
Yeah, it's very schizophrenic. And what's interesting to me is that the latest thing, where he says, no, I really do have a federal plan, came in the form of a tweet. Well, what do you and I know about Joe Biden? He's very old and he's not tweeting. So somebody else is tweeting this. And that means that, we, first of all, it begs the question, who's in charge? And we have a right to ask that question. Is it his staff? Is there a cabal of, Valerie Jarrett and Susan Rice and Obama people doing it? Who is in charge? We ought to know that. And two, look, I don't blame him for Omicron. I blame him for not having the test. But the fact is, this is a virus. It spreads. Everyone's going to get it. And the fact is that this administration refuses to acknowledge some basic facts that we have now learned over 2 years. There are natural immunities. We now know with Omicron there are some breakthroughs, even with natural immunity, but especially with the vax. The vax are the ones getting Omicron and spreading it the most. So this, vax solution for everything is actually living in another era. We need to move forward. This administration is caught flat-footed, and you're right about one thing, Kayleigh. He criticized the Trump administration for not having tests when this thing first started, and nobody should have expected the Trump administration to magically come up with a bunch of tests. But he was given a plan in October. He was told to order them, and he decided not to. And no one understands why, and he should be asked to respond to that. Why did you not want to have tests when you knew this variant was on its way?
Exactly.
Molly, he was given
President Biden by President Trump the most advanced testing system in the world. This was a novel virus. There were no tests when President Trump inherited this, when he got COVID-19.
Trump didn't make the test happen, though, did he? All he did was open up the floodgates for
He developed more tests, administered more tests
drug companies
than
to do it.
Western Europe combined.
You shouldn't be giving credit
fall.
to
That
any
is
president.
impressive. Why didn't President
They're
Biden
fucking
keep it up?
executive. They're not scientists.
Well, it's really important, I think, to go back
Those
and
shouldn't be
think
giving them
about
power.
what last year was like the year before President Biden was made president. And you look at what happened when
Made
this
president.
pandemic hits the world.
She didn't say
the Trump
elected.
administration does a bunch of stuff that they should have done better, but on the big stuff, they got everything right. Namely, developing these vaccines, overcoming the bureaucratic hurdles to get those vaccines. And by the time President Biden is inaugurated, he has all the tools he needs. And this is important because he claimed that the reason why you had to vote for him was because he had some magical, mysterious plan to take
he didn't
care
have
of the
anything
global
going on.
pandemic. And in the end, it's been a year. He's done literally nothing.
Nothing but threaten.
Other than use the vaccines that the Trump administration developed.
The
use
Trump administration
protocols and
didn't
the
develop
plans and
shit.
procedures and the testing regime and
This is
whatnot
so dumb.
that the Trump administration developed.
why
He's
even
done
listen to any
nothing
of these
else,
fuckers?
And the situation is so much worse than it was when he took office. And again, the
Yeah,
entire
spending a
case
shit
for
ton
his
of money,
presidency
bunch of
was that
fucking
he
Marxist
had
ideas.
this
It's ridiculous.
plan and he
It
was going
happens
to
every
squash
time
the
the libs
virus.
are
He's
in
done
power.
nothing.
He's done nothing, Tommy. And then governors are rightfully saying, hey, there's no federal response, therefore there are no federal mandates. But Joe Biden decides to go take a walk on the beach with his new puppy. Reporters managed to shout a few questions at him. One of which
Let's go, Brandon.
is, will you require vaccination in order to have domestic air travel? It seems like it should be a pretty simple answer. No, I'm not going to discriminate on who can travel domestically, vaccinated versus unvaccinated. But not so fast. President Biden did not shut down the idea. Let's roll the tape.
Stay away from reporters, Joe.
Why
I don't know what
doesn't
he's
every
saying.
home in the U.S. have solar panels?
So, hey, what's going on, guys? I don't know if anybody's watching. Doesn't matter. Hey, if you're watching this video on demand, thanks for coming by. I didn't call the show anything. It's always shelf help show of some sort. I didn't have a plan to do anything tonight, but I thought, why not? Pop in, check out what's going on in the news. Maybe eat my kimchi quesadillas in front of you. Yeah, I have kimchi quesadillas. Yeah, you would think it's gross, but it's really kind of gross. It's pretty amazing. I love it. I think I still got some of that COVID leftover sense of smell and taste. I eat kimchi no matter what. I'll eat that ass. It's all good. But yeah, I found it takes more intense flavor to get my attention these days. What you gonna do? So, hi, I'm Jeffrey. I'm the guy who definitely hosts the show, Shelf Help Show. Probably coming back Atomic Dork Squad. Maybe not tomorrow. I'll check in with the boys, see what's happening. We were doing the Saturday Sultan Showgram for a while. We did that for 2 months, 3 months. And it was an interesting experiment. At times it turned into a circus. which was fun and gratifying in its own way. At times, it turned into 8 hours of show, which the part that I kept pointing out was by the time everybody on the show exhausts themselves and they get out everything that's on their chest, on their mind, we all make dick and fart jokes. We get down to the last hour of the show, which is usually spurned by me at that point, going, "Hey, let's go deep. Let's talk about something with substance." I realize you can't really do a show based on that and expect an audience to tune in. Although, I mean, we get like 100+ video on demand views, and then over on Facebook, YouTube, kind of spread out. There's still be a couple hundred people to check it out, but it's not to the level of what you're going to know what to do with it. Really, again, it's not. You can't really package that up and do anything. If I was to pitch that to anyone, this is, so tell me about the show. Well, it started off with getting ready for a 30th reunion and having people get together. And then it turned into like a WWE Monday Night Raw session. And then with some poignant thoughts that everyone was asleep when they happened. So, sold? You wanna advertise? Probably not. So I kept threatening to boil it down. What I found was, with everybody getting together, it was fun. It's laughter. It's 12-year-old humor, dick and fart jokes, so to speak. Often will come out of it. Sorry about the yawning. What I really enjoyed was finding people who had an opportunity to get out of their own shells and get out of their own way. And if it's only 7 or 8 people, then it's 7 or 8 people. Sometimes, finding people who needed a kind of a respite from life and a place to go and be kind of like the bar. Cheers. I wonder if we could use the term cheers in a show. But it's kind of like that, where everybody knows your name. It was good for them. And then people would come in and they'd start on their cell phone one week, and the next week they've added their Chromebook or laptop, and then a camera, and then gaming headset or a microphone, and suddenly you got a studio. And I chuckle because part of me is like, I get it. I get the compulsion once you do it to do it better if you can. Totally understand that. I went really complicated, like right out of the gate. Like 2 computers, one running video, one running OBS. I had so many variables going between direct lines, RF, Bluetooth, etc. It was a nightmare. I went back and looked at some of the shows from March, April, and I was like, one thing that stood out as positive was I had some cool overlays and some decent intros and outros and whatnot. And I thought that was pretty good. That was on OBS. I feel like I should bring that back. But otherwise, it was just kind of nightmarish. Never having the volume right, never getting my mics to be picked up right. I've gone back and I'm running on my laptop, which is a faster computer than what I do on use for the show here. And I've been enhancing audio and trying to clean up some of those old shows. And I'm going to replay them here. I'll broadcast them here. So I'll give you guys a heads up when I do that, in case you want to join in for the very beginning when I was the most naive, and then when like Dork Squad started, and I think I have our 40th anniversary get together show, which was the plan with Dan and Jeff. That turned into Atomic Dork Squad. So it seems like it's been longer than a year, doesn't it? Happy New Year, by the way. Dad Bod Biker Beard. I was thinking about bringing that character back. I kind of like that. Dad Bod Biker Beard. It's still me. It felt like a really long year and a really fast year, and I keep hearing people kind of say that. Like it went by quickly, but it felt like it was slow, but not I think we're just comparing it to COVID year one, as the government figured out how to manipulate us and lie to us about what was important and what wasn't. Bankrupt 40% of small businesses, see if they can oppress the people and get them all to duck and cover and bend to their will. I get it. They proved they could. Good job, guys. You're controlling the masses. And then, of course, force RNA shots that so far may or may not. I don't know. It was a good year. It felt really slow for those of us who were the mandatory victims of the science experiment. I never got stuck at home. I worked out of the office. It's not true. 2020, I worked out of the office because of COVID one day, and then I was back in the office. And even with the original variant, the Delta variant, I'd say 80% of people got it. No one, 2 of them maybe had some serious illness after the fact. Nobody died, thank God. Because there must have been 200 people through where I work had it. Yeah, but I think 21 was just dragging. It was dragging. It was an election year. There was all this drama. We were stuck at home. Our lives changed as we know it. I thought coming out of 2020, we come into 21, and the trajectory would be a little different. You know, we got a little bit of freedoms and things started to open up, and then here's a variant. Everyone duck and cover. Here's another variant. Everyone duck and cover. I find it kind of interesting just to watch people. I've traveled back between California and Arizona, and watching people in both states, even as hardcore as California is, they are hardcore about mandates and who can go where, and they treat people like they've got a big fucking Star of David on their shirt. It's true. LA County is horrific. Like, there are areas in California that are just pure oppressive, like disgustingly oppressive. But that being said, there's all these pockets of individuals. And as I'm driving back and forth between these states, I'm determining when I pull over, like, should I put on a mask or should I not put on a mask? I have COVID. I have natural immunity. I'm confident in that. I had antibodies to COVID-1, but I never had a symptom. Then I had COVID Delta variant. Definitely had symptoms. Definitely. Omicron doesn't show symptoms. Maybe a sniffle, sore throat, that sort of stuff. And it's not deadly. So I'm good. So I give a shit about wearing a mask. I'm not concerned, personally. So anyways, I get the lay of the land because I'm going to cooperate based on what the public is doing. What are the people around me doing? I'm not going to make anyone uncomfortable. I'm not trying to, win an argument when I'm stopped at the gas station. I don't fucking care. So I look around and I see mask, and I'm like, okay, I'll put on my mask. Then I walk in and there's no mask. Even at the checkout counter, there's mask, no mask. I'm like, it's almost everywhere I went. As hardcore as they say it's going to be, the enforcement's been pretty much non-existent. Luckily, as far as we can tell. I mean, maybe people have been shipped off to the gulag. Maybe. I don't know. But 2021 was a different year. Biden becomes the most popular garbage executive ever. Most popular based on the amount of votes. Apparently, at this point, we're just going with it. The executive branch has been, hopefully this year, what we last year, what we will have proven is that it's the legislature without a veto, or that's really it, that causes the most problems. And it's a lack of understanding what the executive branch, what their authority is. So they knew when they passed mandates that they do not have the authority to do so. They're the executive. They don't pass laws. They defend our borders. They can do police actions in the overseas, which they cannot declare war. But if they think it's imminent to protect our borders, they can deploy troops. And then otherwise, veto power, What's it called when you absolve people of their crimes? Political favors, pardons, and I think that's it. Protect our borders. You're the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. You can veto laws and you can pardon people. That's your powers. Directives and all that crap, mandates, they don't have any power. But here's what they know. They know that most Americans don't know that they don't mean anything. They know that the states retain power where it is not directly given to the federal government. They also know that companies will want to get on board for popularity purposes with whatever thing is the popular thing. So they make a mandate, which is unconstitutional. The states can then adopt it, which the states can adopt it but it doesn't matter. The federal government can be deemed to be unconstitutional, and it doesn't matter. The states are not held accountable to that. Then the states adopt whatever they want. Then that's where they know that they're going to have some impact. We're going to declare that this is my right to force this. We who know are like, fuck you. No, you can't. Everybody else gets on board and they wind up destroying everything around them based on being in the popular club. We got to stop. We got to stop doing that. Really got to stop. That means the orange guy. That means the old guy, the crypt keeper, whoever is in that executive seat. They're not running the country. Quit letting them. Remember when I took political science in college, 1985, I think. I remember they said that basically back then, I remember them teaching that you have laws there are laws that influence outcomes across state lines, and then there are the unwritten laws, which are like favors or punishment. So laws come in different forms. So if the federal government was to not provide funding for your state to have their interstate freeways fixed, that would be their way of pressing the state to do the right thing based on what they want. So there are direct laws and there are indirect laws. We've just seen that in the last couple of years now where it's very, very obvious. But I'm gonna move on from politics. I'm tired of politics. Happy New Year, people. So I was thinking about I keep saying I'm going to do a show on the dark web. I don't know if I'll get away. If I can claim no liability, then if I just say, hey, I'm not liable for this, then I should be able to show you guys how to do this without there being an issue. You guys want a sneak peek? You want to see how easy it is to get to the dark web? What is the dark web, Jeff? The dark web is 50 to 100,000 web pages that are not searchable through your internet service provider because they don't have the right extension. So there's about 100,000 or so websites that tend to be skirting the law, who conduct business of some sort, plenty of it legal, and it's not searchable by Google, DuckDuckGo, all those things. Specifically, you can't get to it unless you have a specific software browser set up that'll allow you to get to Tor. So you guys want to take a peek? Want me to show you a really easy way to get there that you can do on your phone? And then we'll do a bigger show and we'll do some exploratory stuff and I'll show you where to find some cool stuff. We're not gonna go look for anything, anything bad. We're not gonna look for, bad things happening to kids or none of that. That stuff does exist out there, but it's not why Tor was created. So let's do that. We'll do that in just a sec. I'm so hungry, so I'm gonna go eat my kimchi quesadilla. And we'll do that. Let's see. Video clips.
That's what she said.
Nothing better. Corn tortilla, kimchi, cheese blend. That tastes foul. I love it.
That's what she said.
So if you, I don't know if you saw in the background, but it got smoky, like big time. I turned the oven up to broil because I was going to cook something. Then I got distracted with you guys, and then it started smoking some parchment paper that was left in there. And the kids haven't even come out of their rooms. The house is on fire. I think I should burn some incense, maybe some Palo Santo. Hey, buddy. Where are you? What are you doing? What's in the box? Nothing. Hello? Hello? Hello, rat. There's a rat in there. I haven't named it yet. It's just a rat. What's in the box? It's a rat in the box. I'm just wasting time for another minute while my house clears out, and then I'm going to take care of that. Hey, check out www.theshelfhelpshow.com. We've made some updates to the website. There are, of course, links to products from the old days when we used to make jokes about Jeff Quay's mom. There are some Atomic Dork Squad transplanted. Here comes one of them. It's so smoky because I left the oven on, and the oven was burning parchment paper. So I'm airing out the house. You want to open the front door?
Okay.
You want to come on the show?
Say hi.
I'm not chatting with anybody specifically. So this is for whoever's watching in the background, and then VOD. I didn't really announce the show. Yeah. What's your name?
Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer. Where are you from?
Minnesota.
Minnesota, huh? Oh, okay. All right then. What do you like most about being in the desert? That's where you are now.
I love how much it snows here.
Yeah.
I love the cold.
That's good. Yes.
Yeah.
Snow and cold is important. It's what most people look for when they go to the desert, don't you know? So what was it like in Minnesota? What was it? It's actually cold and snows there, so you can go with the opposite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love how warm and I love the beaches there.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard of the beaches of St. Paul. Yeah, I think it's a song. It's like a country song. Is it true that people say "don't you know" and whatnot and like that? They have that Scandinavian weird accent.
Those are just stereotypes.
Oh, those are stereotypes. Oh, is it? What's the truth? Like, who says stuff like that? Oh, you betcha. Don't you know? It's not the Minnesotans. Is it the blacks?
I can't keep up anymore. I don't know.
All right. You did a great job, Jennifer.
Thank you.
It's good to meet you. Hey, they say that if you want to come up with a stage name, some say for dirty movies, but just any movie is really fine, that what you do is you take the first name. It comes from the name of your pet growing up, and then your last name will be the street name, your street name. So what would your actor name be, actress name? Who was your primary pet? What was your pet's name?
Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell. Okay, Tinkerbell. And then what street did you live on?
I was gonna say Boulevard, but I don't think that works.
No.
I don't remember.
Paseo San Bernardo is the last one.
Bernardo.
So okay.
We'll do Bernardo.
Tinkerbell Bernardo.
Yeah.
Sounds fancy. I like that. Tinkers, or yeah, Tinkers. Bell Bernardo. Ooh, how about Bell? Like Belle. Bell Bernardo. Hello. T Bell Bernardo. Ooh, like it's T and then Bell Bernardo. That's pretty dope. And introducing as the prostitute.
No, okay.
I mean, I don't know what you're going to be on the movie, but let's assume that you would take any movie that was going to honor the character's truth, right?
Okay.
Introducing as the 14-year-old senator, T. Bell Bernardo in her breakout role. It's pretty dope. Solid. They said, what does the T stand for, y'all? Tinker? Were your parents abusive? Well, yeah, but that was not the example I was going to use. Do you ever use online calculators to come up with fake profiles and credit card numbers so you can try and commit crimes?
Can't say I have.
You want to do that?
No, I'm good.
I think we should.
I think I'm too young to get arrested yet.
So, I mean, it's relative, right? If you're applying for a college, to enter a college, what's that called? College entrance. And you were going to come up with a person that's not necessarily real, so you can get a college ID. So then, therefore, you can get discounts at places like Microsoft, Amazon, movies. There's all sorts of places that you can get discounts as a student. I would say you would use a name and profile generator from the interwebs to get that information, because they'll even give you fake credit card numbers and everything. You can't use them. They're just there for looks. They even give you a backstory. You can even get like a social media quote off of these calculators. We should do that sometime. I was going to show them how to use the dark web. How to get to the dark web in 2 steps. Do you want to see how to get to the dark web? No?
I'm tired.
Would you be so kind as to close the front door when you decide to leave me?
Yeah.
Jennifer T. Bell Bernardo.
I'm leaving now.
All right. I love you. Smokey Via Francis. That's my name. Smokey. Hey, Smokey. Smokey Via Francis. I feel like I should light some incense to get rid of the smoke. Anyways, that was Jennifer, my daughter. I don't think that was her name either, but it doesn't matter. All right. Well, are you ready? Hey, everybody. Dad Bod Biker Beard here. It's Jeffrey. So check. I don't know why the video clip didn't show. What was up with that? Okay, that wasn't it. That's Santee. That's Rebecca. It's a gaming visual. That's SpongeBob. That's not mine. I didn't even upload that. That's hilarious. That must be Mark. That's what we get when Mark was in charge. I mean, not that it's much better. I mean, something sexy. Hey, everybody. Dad Bod Biker Beard here. It's Jeffrey. So check it out. I got a deal for you guys. So my very generous once spouse was listening to me complain. You guys can hear that, but you can't see it, right? It's unusual that a video clip would only be audio. we're not. All right, so let's do some captions. Primary text. Just going to say, I'm not responsible for dumb things you might do. Anywhere. Including the interwebs. Right. Process that. Boom, 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 boom. All right. While I get ready.
Off their starter kit, which includes their masala chai blend.
I met this girl on the night of Halloween. She stood there with a flower, man, she looked like a beauty queen. I took her inside so we could have some fun. She walked around and met everyone. Molly, Molly, you're so fine. Sometimes I wish you were on mine. And every day I dream of you. So please just tell me this is true. We ate dinner and socialized before you and I realized we're stuck in this love boat together. Let's make this night last forever. Molly, Molly, you're so fine. Sometimes I wish you were on mine. And every day I dream of you. So please just tell me this is true. Sometimes I wish you were on mine. And every day I dream of you. So please just tell me this is true. Molly, Molly, you're so fine. Sometimes I wish you were on mine. And every day I dream of you. So please just tell me this is true. Please just tell me. Oh, please just tell me.
Molly Molly by Alien Atmosphere. It's my boys.
All you gotta do is follow your heart. All you gotta do is follow your heart. All you gotta do is follow. All you gotta do is follow your heart. Oh, I believe. Oh, I believe that the world will change for you and me. For you and me.
The anesthesiologist was like, looks like
That was Alien Atmosphere Believe with express permission by the band. Matthew, the drummer, my bud. I actually have some business with him. Yeah, pretty good, right? They're pretty fly. Tell one of them works out. They may both work out, but one of them is a bodybuilder, competitive bodybuilder. That would be Matthew. And they're twins. One is just whiter than the other because he works out like a monster. Well, I don't know how a monster works out. But if I worked out like that, I'd be a monster. La ragazza con il cuore di latte. Oh, I don't know what this is. This is not one of their videos. All right, so we're going to look at some dark web stuff. Let's do that. Put up my Kansas seltzer. Let's dive into that. Welcome back to the show. Shelf Help Show, Grand Saturday Night Special. Randomly, I choose to do this. So what do you guys know of the dark webs? So we'll see if I can break it down for you guys. See if we can make a little bit of sense. Let's see. We're going to go to the Joogle and Joogle News. No. Photos, Duo, Calendar, Shopping, Slides, Blogger, Jamboard, Classroom, Collections, Arts and Crafts. They have a lot of Google apps. Do you know that? Travel, Stadia. I don't even know what some of these are. I know what a podcast is. Let's see what a Jamboard is. Jamboard sounds like fun. I think we're going to jam. June 13th, apparently, I made one. Oh. Jamboard. How do you make a new one? Let's remove this one. Okay. We're going to remove hit the plus button. You guys will play along. We'll make some notes. I believe. All right. So here's my Jamboard. I think you should share space with me. Recent jams. Owned by anyone. Oh, there it is. Bottom right corner. Sneaky. All right. One of one. What do we do with this Jamboard? Let's see. Can I tap on it? Only to write on. Oh, big ink. Make it black. All right. That's what she said. E. A. R. Hey, oh geez, that doesn't even work there, does it? My there we go, dark. My DPI on my mouse is like super fast, so like I barely move it at all, and it takes off. I don't know if this is the best way for me to communicate some ideas. Let's see if my text, this will work. All right. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. All right. So here we go. A little bit of history. Oh no. I don't want Jamboard. Jamboard already sucks. I'll just do a damn Word document. Google Doc. Let's do a Google Doc. Let's do that. You want to look at my resume? Okay, I'll share this. I'll do the show again sometime. But for now, we'll do it like this. Google Documentary. I don't want to be small in the corner. I want to be here. All right, well, here we go. The font. Let's make it big enough so you can see it. All right. So today we're going to look at taking a look at dark web. Wahaha. So let's come up with some different definitions. A couple definitions we're going to use. We're going to use clear web. We're going to use deep web. We're going to use dark web. We're going to use Tor. T-O-R. Oh, Tron. We're going to use some other terms. We're going to use Tor. We're going to use VPN. We're going to use Brave. Yeah. And we're going to use .onion. Try and keep it as simple as possible, kind of one-stop shop, without going too technical on you guys. So in case you want to do it, we'll do Nwiki. I think that's about right. So let's see. We'll see if I'm looking at a tab. Okay, we are. All right. So the term dark web, like, I know that whatever we think about it is probably that it's where there are bad things, where you buy drugs. Probably a term such as a Silk Road probably comes up, because that probably Silk Road, probably one of the biggest FBI busts on Dread Pirate Roberts, PPR. The Silk Road was one of the largest drug sites on the dark web. And what else do we have to know? VPN Tor. You know what? You need to know this. BTC, Bitcoin. So, a history of dark web. Many moons ago, what am I wearing? Camel. So I'm going to borrow this timeline from a couple of different places online, but one of them looks like it was authored by Erica Kastner, submitted to SOS Can Help. history of the web. So early days, the idea of an anonymous online communications network, which is the core of what the dark web is, stretches back all the way to the 1960s with the creation of ARPANET, A-R-P-A-N-E-T. ARPANET was also known as the Advanced Research Projects Agency Network and was an experimental computer network created in the 60s that was the forerunner of the internet and later on the dark web. The idea of ARPANET arose from a desire to share information over great distances without the need for phone connection between each computer on a network. ARPANET was a computer communications system that later took on a tentacle-like structure that made communicating between devices possible. So this was 60 years ago, right? We had the first hint of what was going to be possible for communicating across great distances between computers. Like, do we even have computers back then? We did. We did have network computers. They were not the laptops that you're thinking about now. They're not the desktops you're thinking about now. They're not the Commodore 64s I grew up with in the 80s. They're big mamba jumbas with big tapes and big reels and all sorts of craziness to make them work. The amount of brain power that you have in your phone is like a million times greater than what it took to get to the moon and back the first time. Right? You don't know what you don't know. So the idea of ARPANET, through ARPANET, though ARPANET started out as an invention for the world of academia, the military, who was dealing with the Cold War during the time, quickly found use for it. What do you think the military would find use for? How do you communicate to operatives in foreign countries? The Advanced Research Projects Agency, ARPA, an arm of the U.S. Defense Department, sought a computer-based communication system without a central core. What's the risk if you have a central core? If you have a place that you can attack that then ceases your communications, then you're still vulnerable, right? You black out that site, you black out everything, right? Am I right or am I right? In order to not have your core destroyed, this led ARPA to start funding ARPANET in the hopes that it would be used to link computers to Pentagon-funded research institutions over telephone lines. Even though ARPANET became more privatized by the government over the years, they still let researchers who primarily worked in universities around the country have freedom to try radical experiments. This can be seen in the facilitation of the first illegal online transaction using ARPANET in the early 70s. That's when I was born. Stanford students use ARPANET accounts at Stanford University's Artificial Intelligence Laboratory in the early 70s. It's been going on for a long time, guys. It's no joke. To engage in a commercial transaction of marijuana with their counterparts at MIT. That's funny. They bought and sold weed to each other. Go college. Though ARPANET researchers had the freedom to try bold experiments, such as this one, that's funny. The first transaction by weed. That's hilarious. I like that. It's telling, right? So yeah, in '83, ARPANET, the founders, they split ARPANET into two parts. Milnet, to be used by military, and the civilian version of ARPANET. The civilian version formed the basics for what later became the internet. At their core, both the dark web and ARPANET were rooted in the same desire for secure correspondence. So in 1980s, the internet was released to the world around 1983. Isn't that crazy? It was like 10 years later when I was in college. There was like, I know it was there, but you had to pay for it or you had to get mailed something, or I wasn't using it much. Maybe a little bit. Try and download some digitized porno pictures over a 26 baud modem. No good. But 83, quickly gaining popularity as the world began to be more and more connected. 1990s, public release of the internet, and rise of illegal music streaming. You guys remember this, right? I do. I use Napster. I downloaded 38,000 MP3s, maybe closer to 50,000. I think I have them on a hard drive somewhere still. I mean, I don't. This is a story somebody told me. So the 90s. Oh man, it's known as the decade of the dot-com bubble. Remember, all these companies were starting. They were getting all this venture capital to start a company based on marketing something on the internet. You know, these venture capitalists were funneling all this money to people who had ideas for businesses that nobody could prove or disprove whether or not they'd work. They just get a bunch of money. They come in, try and start it up, try and start a brick and mortar to do something on the internet. And there was billions of dollars being thrown around. And then they got documentaries on it. You can just see them, guys coming out of their apartments with these ideas, and they go get a buttload of money, rent a building. The overhead was never worth what it would have taken to make these things happen in the first place, but nobody could visualize it. We've always had this manufacturing sort of mentality in the United States where you work in a factory. You work in a mine, you work in a factory. Our entire school system is built to mimic factory workers. They thought factory workers would be forever. That was the idea. They didn't realize that there would be an evolution over time, and there's a quickening of the evolution now, that you don't have to get up and leave your home in order to manufacture something, in order to make something, in order to produce something, in order to drive something. You can do it all from here. I can do my entire job from right here, my whole job. I can do my job on my phone and on a laptop. I can do some of it on the phone. I can do the bulk of it on my laptop. And I need Java just because that's the language that it's a primary language, Java, HTML, XML, being used by the like call center, automatic call distribution hubs are using that language to communicate all to the, to each other. That's it. It's wild. Chances are these days when you're talking to somebody who you would think is in the call center, they're probably working from home. And there's millions of people working from home on their phone because it's easy. It's all internet based. You load a couple programs on the computer, you send it home with them. It's still managed by IT. They've got their system. As long as they got a good internet connection, you're ready to go. And it's all managed by managers who are also remote, and they're watching everybody digitally, not specifically on camera, although they can, with your permission, of course. But everything is just being managed through apps. It's crazy. So let's check it out. Millions of early adopters began flocking online to try it out for themselves. The MP3 stuff, right? CDs, the music consumption method of choice in the 90s, along with the release of MP3 compression formats. What was it about MP3s? It took a file and it's made it very, very small, very tight. Now, you have some audio fidelity loss there, but for most people, their ear wasn't that refined, so they didn't really care. You can fit a lot of songs onto a very small platform, which was key. That's when the iPhone, the iPod rather. Check it out. Ooh. All right. These guys came out. These little suckers right here. I don't know how old this one is. It's not plugged in right now, but this is my father's, and he passed away 11 years ago. I don't know how long he had this, but this is the iPod Nano, probably 4 gigabyte. Serial number, I'd assume this is 15 years old. I didn't see my first iPod or touch my first iPod until my friend Adam, probably in 2005, had one and came to my house. And I was like, "What is that?" He's like, "This is an iPod," and it was twice as thick. I was like, "That's amazing. I need that." He's like, "How does it work?" He's like, "Well, there's MP3s on here." Remember when people start using vernacular that you don't even know? There's MP3s on here. You can listen to them. So I take it and I'm scrolling around. I got my earphones in. I was like, "This is amazing." I have my earphones and it's not this big old Walkman. It's not this big old CD player. I remember I was listening to Mitch Hedberg's stand-up. I just thought this, oh, look, it came up, guys. Look, it came up. I wonder if we get past the glare. Let's get past that glare. This is amazing. So you got all these MP3s. Oh. I wonder if I can get it dark enough here so you can actually see it. The old memory. My memories. Come on, can we focus? Can we focus? It's like even the damn TV is putting off too much glare. Oh. Uh-oh. It's too bad you can't get like the backlights creating issues. Oh, there we go. Yes, remember. Oh, come on. Oh, there it went. There we go. Man, that's irritating. Like too much of a glow on the television. There we go. Gotta darken it up a little bit. Here we go. Come on, show it. Wow, this sucks. Never mind. Nobody really cares. Yo, for nostalgia, what? Anyways, I would click through. You spin your thumb on it, and on this one, this 4 megabyte one, or 4 gigabyte rather, I believe it's got 800 songs, and it's not full, but maybe it's more than 800. Against All Odds, Always Asking Questions, America by Neil Diamond, Amazing Grace on bagpipe, the Benedictine Months of Santo Domingo de los Silos, Bad Moon Rising, Beautiful Baby, Baby One More Time, Black Cat, Bo Bryce, Calypso. All right, so this is my dad's. This hasn't changed in probably 15 years. It's probably when he put his music on it. I probably helped him and or gave him MP3s to do it with. This became the thing. This was amazing. You can literally have the soundtrack to your life plus more on this little tiny thing. I mean, realistically, do you need more than 800 songs? How many songs could you play that you say, I know them all? I mean, I'm sure more than that, but isn't it sad that we run out, like our attention span, just like mine, it runs out, even though we have 300 channels to watch TV on, a billion in YouTube channels. Even here, 800 songs is not enough. I had 40,000 songs, not enough. Now we stream everything because we don't want to be limited based on the capacity of something to hold something. It's kind of ridiculous, but so that was the early 90s. You had the interest now in consumption. I really think it was a consumption of information is really when it started to really pick up. I don't think we would have gotten to the level of internet literacy we would be at today. Let's find it. Anyway, MP3 is crazy. Remember Metallica sued? Metallica went after Napster and said, you can't do peer-to-peer sharing. Napster's like, look, I have nothing to do with what people share between themselves. We're just a hub. And they were. Napster did not offer anything to download. They offered a connection between one person and another, which was a way of communicating. They just started to use it to transfer files also. So that transfer file protocol really made a big impact on the music industry. And they basically thought in the early 90s, they said, well, that's it. We can't be successful. We can't make money ever again because no one's ever going to pay for anything. They're just going to share it amongst themselves. As a side note, the 90s were also when Tor, a private internet browsing network that would later serve as a main connecting point to the dark web, was in its early development stages. It was 30 years ago when Tor, you guys see it on the page up here, between dark web and VPN. That's when it started. In 2000, Freenet, a free software which lets you anonymously share files, browse, and publish free sites, was released. Though Freenet didn't gain nearly as much popularity as Tor did, it helped stimulate demand for anonymous internet access. So you're being tracked. Everything you do is being tracked. Your internet service provider has an IP address. It's yours. It gives where your location is, who you are. It's registered to you. So when you're out doing things, every site that you go to collects data on you based on your internet provider address, and they track to see where you go on the site, what you do, what you click on, what you're interested in. They use that to market back to you. There's a reason why you have to click on accept cookies or don't. You're basically authorizing the websites to store your information, or store and or sell or distribute, depending on their program. It's very useful to find out what you might be interested in. It's also why you can log back into a website and it takes you to the last place that you were, or it offers you to go to a page that's was relevant to where you were last time, because they want to enable you to have an easy process. 2002 was the release of Tor. Now this is a big one, guys. It was Tor, a private internet browsing network, was finally released to the world. Tor forever changed the face of the internet by creating an environment in which people could browse online freely and anonymously. Tor's creators opened the door to the underbelly of the internet. Though Tor's creators had good intention, they could not have known the widespread impact the invention would have on criminal enterprises and or criminals themselves. So there's Tor is the browser. It's the, what do they say? Tor, private internet browsing network. Tor is funded by the Department of Navy. It was funded by the Department of Navy to allow for communications to happen in countries that were closed off to the outside world. So when you live in Cuba, or you live in, Georgia, or you live in, Uzbekistan, pick it. In order to keep its people quiet, they don't just feed it a bunch of Marxist bullshit. They just stop you from communicating with the outside world because they don't want to be called out for their atrocities. Now, if your job is working for the CIA, your job is to track and keep an eye on your assets that you have in other countries, or just the population in general. You can't trust governments that are authoritarian to tell you the truth. You can't trust your own government to tell you the truth. Everything is watered down and is geared towards what they want you to believe. It's the only way to control you. That's why they hate the idea that when they get certain private companies on board with their agenda, whatever it might be, which is you're only allowed to talk about this version of the story, or you can only say this about that story. And they're all on board because they're all in each other's pockets. then you don't have honest communication coming from within a regime to outside the regime, which is to the watchdogs, which tends to be the U.S., who's keeping an eye on their own interests, obviously, and need people to be able to communicate. So Tor takes doesn't go through a primary network server. Tor actually will distribute itself across multiple proxy networks that are anonymized. And when your signal is out there and you're searching for things, there's no connection because it's not going through a server that records you. There's no connection for wherever you wind up back to you. So that allows you to be anonymous if you're in country and you're trying to communicate out, then they don't know where to track you back to. That's good. Unfortunately, the bad things happens is the pedophiles and the druggies and the weirdos will also use that same technology. But the Department of Navy had to decide when they released an O2, like, we know that criminals will use this technology for bad things. And we know that there's not a way to track them either, because they're going to use this huge, like 32-digit randomized web address. It doesn't have the name of the company in it. It's not an indicator of anything. And they can change it whenever you want. The only problem is when you change it, you have to try and get that link out to your other friends. There's no direct search function that attacks that web, okay? That attacks the dark web. There's not like a clear indexing site like in Google, which handles the ClearNet. There's no indexing service available to say, find me keywords. So if you don't have that long ass address, you're not getting anywhere. You can't just go to Tor and go to some search function and be like, child pornography, go. At least as far as I know, that's not the case, because I don't think there are search functions. You have to ask around and get this information from people who will publicize it to you or give it to you on the download. Now, when it comes to drug services, financial services, which are fraud services, things such as that, you can get those off of wiki sites, because strangely enough, there's so much more capital crimes happening in regards to finance than there are abuse to children, but you can't even blink when it comes to that. You shouldn't be like, hey, how can I get a stolen credit card number if you're stumbling across somebody being sex trafficked and they're a minor? You don't want the two to mix, but you can't be callous, you know? So the Department of Navy released it, and they said, we know that people are going to use this for bad reasons, but we'd rather have these bad reasons and know that the people who are being held by their countries and they're being oppressed by their countries, at least they have a way to communicate out, because since you can't track the signal in or out, you can anonymously communicate. Otherwise, if you're within North Korea, they act like North Korea is the only place. But as soon as you ping something out of country, they're alert. They know where you are. That being said, we can use a virtual private network to make it appear that we're anywhere we want to be. We'll go over that in a second. The rise of the dark web. 2009, with the release of private browsing networks like Tor, collections of dark websites and subsequent community of followers have been able to emerge. So it's not that long ago, right? 2009, the release of Bitcoin. Before cryptocurrency was invented, illegal transactions on the dark web were hard to complete, seeing as customers could potentially be located thousands of miles away. Neither party wanted the risk of using credit cards or PayPal for transactions because they leave a trail. So when cryptocurrency came out, Bitcoin came out, they said, oh, I can anonymously move this money from one spot to the next. That's handy. There's so much money moving 24/7 behind the scenes that Bitcoin became the way to do business. So 2013, the Silk Road was shut down. That was a huge drug line. It was replaced by mirrored sites 10 seconds later. They haven't shut them down yet. So if you think about it, the FBI probably spent millions of dollars tracking down Dread Pirate Roberts, who was the moderator of this site, in order to trick him into coming out and getting caught so they can arrest him and shut down his site without already knowing that there were mirror sites already set up for exact such things, which means you just flip a switch, it goes to a different server. It's anonymous. Good luck finding the people who did it. Everything can be anonymized. It's like, well, you know, we're not going to stop anything. We're not going to prevent anything. We're not going to help anything, but we're going to go ahead and punish one person because we caught him. You have to make an example somehow, right? 2015, they did shut down a big child porn hub. That's good. As though the site no longer exists, its popularity shows the extent to which demand for illegal content, no matter how depraved, can still exist on the dark web. That's gross. I'm sure people are still trying to find it. They're searching for this. I'm not going to give you the name of it. So let's go through how to do it. Clear web, that's what's searchable by Google and indexing sites such as that. Deep web is actually what when you do like DirectNet, ShareNet, when you have intercompany or intra-company communication site that is not accessible through a www because it's not clear worldwide, but you wonder where those come from, that's called the deep web. There's all this stuff that's interconnected through businesses and entities that are communicating for business purposes that's not searchable from the clear web. You, as a business owner, you want to be able to have access to some legs of this internet communication that someone's not going to stumble across and then fuck up your entire, how-to manuals that are all listed on there for your company. So that's actually the deep web. And the dark, clear, deep, dark. Dark is then where you're posting up these sites with a .onion extension. So we use .com, we use .web, we use .net, we use there's a lot. If you ever want to buy a domain, there's probably, I don't know, I'm guessing 30 to 50 extensions. .com are they give you the most clout because those are for commercial businesses. They indicate that they're commercial. .net indicates not so much. .info less. .web less, but you can buy them. When I bought my show domains, they asked if I wanted to buy like the 10 most popular subdomains. I'm like, nah. If this ever blows up for whatever reason, I'll just sue them. Bury my paperwork until they give it up. So, clear, deep, dark, Tor. You got Tor. Tor is the networking. The anonymous networking service that we use to get there. A VPN can be purchased. A VPN means virtual private network. What is a VPN, Jeffrey? It's a virtual private network, is what I just said. What do we use it for? We use it to mask our IP address to our internet service provider. So let's say I have CenturyLink. My internet address, my IP address, internet protocol address, internet provider address, there you go. My IP address, which has my name Jeffrey all over it. When it goes through from here to my CenturyLink, I forget the name. Oh, network. God, I'm getting tired. When it goes through that network, they can see that that's me. My identifier comes through that network, and then it distributes out to wherever I'm looking. That means there's a trail of me. So although you can get to Tor and you can get to the dark web, when you're on your way there, if you don't mask your address, your internet service provider will have a record of you going from here to Tor. Why is that bad? Well, complete anonymity means no cookies, no pop-ups. Nothing's going to happen on your web browser that's even going to identify your fake address that you have. But when you get to a network, your first network hub, that's going to be anonymous also. So you traditionally get a VPN. Costs, I don't know, a couple bucks a month, depending on where you get it. You turn it on basically, and it says that you are wherever else in the world you want to be. You can select places and say, I am in Bora Bora. And they'll give an IP address in Bora Bora, and you'll use that as your temporary address as you're going through your internet service provider's network. We have to have the .onion at the end of our address in order to get there. If you're at .onion, that means you're in the dark web. If you're at .com and you're looking for .onion, you may not be. You have to check and make sure your stuff is on so you get into the place where you're looking for. Or your address might be faulty. If you want to buy something, you're going to use Bitcoin because that can also be bought and sold anonymously, either by going through escrow broker or just anonymously buying it at locals.bitcoin.com or locals.btc. You'll get a Bitcoin wallet, which holds your cryptocurrency. Your wallet is not associated with your name in any way, shape, or form. And then you use that to make transactions on the dark web in order to purchase things. So everyone remains anonymous from your computer through your network, from your network through Tor, from Tor to whatever sites where you make your transactions anonymously with Bitcoin, and then, hey, I love you too, buddy. And then back. We use a hidden wiki to as our starting point to find sites to look at. So here's how you do it. You have two options. I got two options. All right, I'll show you my desktop. I'll show you, okay? There's a very interesting all-in-one browser called Brave. Brave is a one-stop shop for getting on the dark web. Or you can download specifically Tor from its webpage. It's just a program. So I'm going to show my screen. I'll show you what we're going to do. So let's say that I want to pull up Google Chrome. And from Google Chrome, look, I have a couple of addresses. I don't know if you knew that. Jeffrey, GB Sinatra, GB Sinatra 73, at my company, Shelf Help, they're all. There's a lot going on. Oh, sure that's data belonging to somebody. Okay. Well, I became an affiliate marketer with Fiverr. Just so you know, I have to verify my email address. I've been working on affiliate marketing for this last week. I'm almost done with a newsletter with all these links and sites to make your New Year's better. This stuff becomes mind-numbing. How do you make money selling shit online? Next. So I'm going to show you the easy way, and I'm going to show you the safer, probably a bit safer, but not so easy way, okay? Grass on your site. I thought this was the right one. It hasn't come in yet. All right. So if you go to the interwebs and you type in Brave, let's type in Brave browser, it's going to take you through a process of downloading this. It's a network browser. Have you guys ever seen a browser? Just like any other browser. This is the chat Restream IO that I use. Popped up, so if I want to say something in chat, like what gibberish, it's there. Now, Brave browser is very interesting for a couple of reasons. It helps you save bandwidth by minimizing the garbage that's going in and out through your ISP. It will allow you to do anonymous browsing as well as Tor browsing. Tor means it connects you through that network that's anonymous. So let's see what we got to do to make that happen. So download Brave just like you would anything else. Do you want to do it? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Do you want me to apply it here? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Just say yes, yes, yes. Tell it to give you all the stuff. So, no. This is private internet access. I use private internet access as my virtual private network to hide my identity between me and the big man. So this is the one that blocks you and says you're in Timbuktu or wherever you want to be. I sent look at my email or my text. Oh no. My son remembers my credentials. I don't. Oh, it's another nice thing is a lot of these times you can have, they'll give you amount of sign-ons you can use. So let's say I use, my private internet access on like 2 machines. And then I allow my son to use it. I allow a friend to use it. And then it'll offer more safety if I need it. So I'm going to turn on my PIA. It's going to say that I'm currently in Los Angeles. Los Angeles only has a 30 millisecond lag. I can go to Las Vegas. I can say I'm in Silicon Valley. I can say I'm in Phoenix. I can say I'm in Denver, Chicago. I can say I'm somewhere in Canada. Once it gets yellow, you start to have some lag time. All around the world, you can state that that's where you're coming from if you don't want to be identified personally. So I'm going to say I'm in LA. That works fine. Start using rewards. Sure, I don't know what this is for, but apparently there are rewards. And then, let's see. You want to see Brave News? You can see Brave News. Huh. So if you go over to the menu bar in the corner, I believe it'll give you some options if you want to do like an incognito window or something of the like. You have new window, new private window. Private means it'll do its best to minimize how much following happens from data consumers. And then you have a new private window with Tor. So instead of downloading separate entities of Tor, VPN, etc., you can get a free VPN on your browser. You can add it as an extension and then turn that on, and then you can get Brave, and you can add that to your Chrome, which is what I do, and then use that. So I'm going to say, open a new private window. Now, here's something to be cautious about. We are really close to being able to connect to the dark web. Like I said, you can't stumble upon anything accidentally, but I would still check Tor status connected. That means I'm going to go through anonymous servers. With Tor connectivity, it says, Tor hides your IP address from the sites you visit by routing your browsing through several Tor servers before it reaches your destination. Tor can slow down browsing, and some sites might not work at all. DuckDuckGo. This is your replacement to Google. If you don't like the algorithms telling you what you can and cannot see, and you're trying to find the truth about something that happened last week, but you remember it specifically, but they're like, we don't have any record, go to DuckDuckGo. It's in private windows with Tor. DuckDuckGo is the default search engine. Some of the other popular search engines are harder to use with Tor. DuckDuckGo doesn't track your search in history. With Tor, they don't even know your IP address. That sounds pretty good. Learn more. Uh-oh. Please turn on JavaScript, it says. You don't like what you're doing? Why not? I'm turning off blocking Java so it can actually load how this page works. Oh, I thought it was done. I guess it just didn't load everything, right? All right. So we are in support.brave.com. What are we asking to do? How do I import or export browsing data? What is a private window with Tor connectivity? Releases, successes. How do I import or export my own browsing data? You can read about that. What is a private window with Tor connectivity? You can read about that. Here's what we know. We know that we're safe from looking around. We also know that we have to be able to get along. So let's get along. We're going to look for something to look for. Welcome to the dark web. So private with Tor. Enforce some resolution of this thing. Duck, duck, go. Duck, duck, go. Duck, duck, go. Duck, duck, go. On Wiki, on this, on that, on Reddit. We can search. Let's see if DuckDuckGo has a Facebook. I don't want to log in. Search. So we're going to look for hidden wiki. We're private with Tor. It says so in the upper right hand corner. It's connected. It's secure. Like that. There we go. What was that? Didn't I just hit search? Lot of blogs. You can learn all by reading here, but I got stuck. I'm trying to figure out what the hell it's all about. Anyway, wiki. Wiki. To give us sites. Now my VPN's running. I'm connected to Tor. Here's the hiddenwiki.org. Now this is available. It's a .org. It's open on the ClearNet, but it will give you addresses. It'll tell you what's where, what to look for. Turn on your JavaScript. Oh, yeah, that's also Hidden Wiki. That's fine. Please stand by. Fine, you can do it here. We just stopped by. We're taking a look at the dark web. Now, here are links to information that we might find useful. Like I said, Tor is perfectly legal. DuckDuckGo is perfectly legal. Some of these sites may have stuff on there you don't want to see, but doesn't mean the sites are illegal unless they are committing felonies or offering to. I don't know if offering to commit a felony is the same, but these are different. Search engines, OpenShare. OpenShare is like Napster. Search engine, Tor66, Ahima search engine, Darkfail, Unix, Bitcoin Fog, Wasabi Wallet. These are Bitcoin and search engines for the dark web. The Hidden Wiki, command line monitor for Tor, where you can get detailed real-time info about the Tor relay connections, logs, etc. Here's forums. These are where people get together to discuss things and then also provide links to different sites. These are financial services. So you get a Bitcoin mixer. That means they can totally randomize and anonymize. You have Bolts, crypto exchange, the legendary Bitcoin mixer, a lot of Bitcoin Hilo Swap, anonymous email services. So if you need to communicate without anybody knowing what's going on. They also have domains, VPS, and Tor hosting sites. FileNet and torrents. Torrents are used to download files of like Napster, basically. You want to download movies, etc. You can do it there. You can do it on the clear web too, but you have to hide your VPN so you don't get flagged as being one of those people who's downloading stuff. Luckily, because in the bad old days, your cable company could tell just based on the volume of stuff that was coming down your internet line, they'd have an idea whether or not you were downloading movies. Now, because the amount of streaming that's happening anyway, they're less likely to be able to tell at all. Russian sites, German, non-English deep web links in case you want to try and look around in a foreign language. So let's pick one of these and let's dive in. Facebook has its own. Did you know that? It allows people to communicate who are in countries who are blocking it, which was the whole point. You want a news aggregator site? You want a political one? We can look it up. So let's click on it and let's take a look, see where it takes us. Remember, upper right-hand corner. You can't see it over the logo, so let's remove the logo. Up here it says it tells you that you're in private mode in Tor in the upper corner. So this is a Onion dark web, or yes, this is a dark web news site. Let's find out what might make it that way. We are now in the darknet, guys. This is it. VPN hides my line to my internet service provider, and nobody can track me. The Tor is attached to Brave as a browser. I just went like new incognito tab with Tor. I found an address at thehiddenwiki.com. I plugged it in. It took me there. Here we are. This is it. I've never seen it before. So you have linked to dark websites up here in the top left corner. You have guides and reviews. 3 reasons centralizing your data is a bad idea. Icarus Market Review. Torres Market Darkest Review. How to buy on Torres Market. Okay, this stuff is all up here. Your reviews and news, a forum, and then contact us. And it's got normal news. It's got news about people doing stuff on the dark web. Oh no. So we can look around now that we're on the dark web. We can look at better stuff. So if you notice on the hidden wiki, they didn't have like to buy cocaine, go here. To look at a horse, kick your friend in the head, go here. They didn't have anything that was super weird, but they gave you access points to get here so you can then find the stuff you want from here. Now, this is something that I want to show you. This site was called what? Tape something? Let's see what this site was called. Here's the thing. Things are delayed, so when you click on a button, you have to be patient and let it work. Onion links and Telegram channels, Sonar, Raptor, Recorn, Darknet Trust, Mail to Tor, forums. Oh, so much good stuff. You can find so much stuff from here. And it's got news. So let's go ahead and share with, say, a window to the walls. Wall set drops out my balls. Oh, these bitches crawl. Oh, skeet, motherfucker. What are the 12 steps to the sales process? How can you get people to buy your stuff on a clickbait? All these bitches crawl. Oh, skeet. All right, I'm going to type some stuff over here. Okay. Take a look at this. This is what a Tor website address looks like. That's way different than this. Protocol. What you need? It gets you to Google. That gets you to this new site. Tape 6M4X7SWC71X2N2WTCCU4LT2QYAHGW, on and on and on and on. .onion/contact. Which one is easy to remember and which one is not? That's the whole point. You can take your dark web address and you can change it to something else. And if for some reason someone was able to memorize this, well, good luck. Good luck. You want it to be harder to see, harder to track. That's the whole idea. Fascinating stuff. All right, so once we're in here, let's take a look and see something that we may want to see. Let's go find something nefarious. Contact us at Tape News. Markets. What is this? Anna Home. I bet they sell weed there. What do you think? Alpha Bay. Ooh, Gangland. Tor to Tor. I don't know what's on here. Hydra is Russian. Here's forums where you can talk about stuff. Services. You want to get cash? You want to buy yeah, what's it called? I'm drawing a blank. What is it called when you reproduce cash so you can? Oh man, I am tired. Whatever. Let's see what is here. That site cannot be reached. It's temporarily down. That happened. Let's go into the Breaking Bad forum and see if that's online. I bet that one's about selling drugs. We're going into it. Dun, dun, ding. Welcome to the forum of professional participants of the drug market. Here you will get all the necessary information about organizing a laboratory of any size, from a small kitchen at home to an industrial facility. What is this about, guys? And if you have your own production, here you will find all the relevant information to improve efficiency and safety. In the sections of the forum, you will find methods of synthesis and analysis, supplier of chemicals and equipment, descriptions of the pharmacological action of substances, business technology. So what you're saying, Jeff, is that this site is a forum where drug makers can get together and talk about best ways to synthesize whatever that drug is, where to buy the chemicals, best methods to utilize so you can get a yield that's not going to be something that's deadly. Yeah, that's what this is. So they want people to be using the best technology possible, because they're not looking for stuff coming from the cartel to be stepped on, smashed, quadrupled in value, and lose 90% of its efficacy. They want people, if you're going to sell drugs online, then sell good drugs. That's what they're looking for. Be safe. Do it well. If you're on the clear web, you'll be able to find it through DuckDuckGo. You'll be able to find, like, if you typed in, like, how to make meth, you'll find some, every now and then you'll dig into something. They'll say, well, this is a kitty litter meth. You take the hard, chunky kitty litter and you put it in a 2-liter bottle or 1-liter bottle. You add in red phosphorus. You add in red phosphorus. What was it? Sudafed, crushed up Sudafed, and what's the catalyst? Like carbonic acid, whatever it might be. You have an acid, you have a base, you have a stimulant, and it'll tell you how to make it. And you'll find that stuff on the clear web. It's not super clear. You're not going to find specifics like you would here on how to be like Walter White in Breaking Bad. So here you go. You got different threads and messages. Amphetamines, phenylethylamines, phenylethylamines, methods of synthesis of amphetamine and methamphetamine. You want to make meth? This is the place to go. They'll teach you how. Methcathiones. What is this one? Bromination of. Is that making like MDMA? I think methcathiones is how to make ecstasy. Tryptamines. Synthesis 5-MeO-DMT from 5-MeO. Oh, so this is methcathinones is making mephedrone. You want to make 5-MeO-DMT, which is DMT, basically psychedelic. You can do that there. Cannabinoids synthesis of UR144 from cannabinoids rather, is making things from cannabis based. Opioids, you want to make fentanyl. Here you go. Others. I don't know what all this stuff is. So just to be safe, I'm not going to show you any of the process and procedure. I'm just showing you this stuff is here. I don't specifically recommend, unless you're doing it for research purposes or curiosity. It's not against the law to look at these things. It's not. It's not against the law to look at the dark web. It's not. It's perfectly legal. It's perfectly legal. If you were to do something nefarious, that's why you would want to hide everything. And if you're going to buy something off the dark web, that would be illegal. Otherwise, that's why people use Bitcoin, and they use a Bitcoin mixer, and they anonymize everything across the board. And it's from what I've read and I understand, you can order drugs, and they will mail it to you. I guess they'll mail it to your house, to a PO box, whatever. It's all available, which is really kind of fascinating. But just so you understand, kind of the base of what they're really trying to accomplish is they don't want garbage to be sold to people to hurt them. You'll find so many articles, and I know this is contradictory to what the government will tell you, and it's contradictory to what your parents will tell you. And I'm not here to contradict any of it. I've always been interested in the message that comes from teetotalers, which will tell you, like, don't, all you got to say is no, just say no. When I was a young kid, and I tried marijuana when I was 13, smoked it on and off, but mostly off. When I was 20, I did Adderall for a year, but it was street Adderall. It wasn't prescribed by a doctor. I got addicted to it. I had to unscrew my head and get off of it. I did it on purpose because I'm a fool, but I've always been curious about everything, like everything. I remember wondering, like, I grew up in the generation where you went and marched in the Just Say No parades, but I was thinking, like, what's so bad about it? Are drugs themselves bad? I think no, they're not. I know for a fact because 99.9% of the drugs that are out there, including the mRNA vaccine, which is not actually a vaccine, those are all supposed to benefit people. They're supposed to extend and save lives. The drugs that are used for recreational purposes are also used to enhance and save lives. What happens though is that you can buy a drug that is potentially going to help you, and if you don't need it physiologically, they can be used to induce a state of euphoria or a state of calm or a state of relaxation, which is why people do drugs. 40% of America, they have done drugs. Outside of coffee and cigarettes and alcohol, they have done drugs that are illegal or illicit, even outside of marijuana. 40%. That's your incidence of common drug use amongst Americans. 40. 4 out of 10. Drug seekers or drug addicts, their distribution across occupations, it's equal across every occupation. Judges, lawyers, doctors, engineers, clergy, construction workers, developers. There's not a distribution that says one group necessarily does it more than the other when it comes to how many have tried it, what percent of them have done it. Now, for specific use amongst groups, you can show, based on research, some, maybe Hispanic males do more marijuana than black males, or maybe African American males. Maybe your distribution changes a little there in those pockets. But for the most part, when it just comes to people who do it, pretty even distribution. Pretty even. This is Palo Santo. It's supposed to purify the air. So I think in order to not violate any terms of service, and I'm not doing a documentary here, but I mean, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not glorifying the use of anything. I promise you that. If it's not in your DNA to do it, don't do it. Avoid it, please. There's nothing. I'm not advocating for the enhancement of anybody's brain if you don't think it needs to be enhanced. I'm not. I can tell you that I've had experiences that definitely enhanced mine, broke me out of depression, helped me see the spirit world and whatnot. But for you, you're going to do what you're happy with, do what you're comfortable with. So, yeah, you know what? You guys want to take a look at what a drug market looks like? I'll show you. It's fine. Again, I'm not teaching you anything other than that it exists. I just want you to know it exists. The Hidden Wiki. Well, that's the one that gives you more addresses. Markets. Hydra. It's a Russian market. Let's take a look and see what this is. This might be eye-opening for you. Do you see how nowhere in these is their index is being, oh, I don't know, I don't speak Russian. I should have picked one that wasn't Russian, huh? Canazon, let's try that one. Like Amazon, Canazon. There was nothing that said, illegal pornography, come here. You'd have to get to a place to get to a place. You have to go looking for it to find it. That's what I'm saying. You don't just stumble across it. So people who get caught with that sort of stuff, someone didn't just drop it, throw it on the ground and leave it. They pulled up quick to retrieve it. They were looking for it. So Canazon ain't there. Let's check out Cana Home. See, oftentimes they have to move around at such a speed in order to try and avoid detection that they have to move from server to server, change their address, and hopefully they throw out to somebody, hey, index this number. Here's our new site. So even if you write down the 42-digit address of wherever I go, not necessarily be the same tomorrow. Oh, Canazon market has retired from the dark web. Torres market closed for good, December 21st, December 12th. Dread users have expressed their disappointment after Canazon market retired from the wood. Oh, what happened? Torres market is shut down amid wild reactions across the. What is going on? You know what? We don't have to go directly into it. We can look at the snapshots. So this is the news, man. They tell you what's going on in the dark web. You got to know. Blowing this one up. Take a look. Oh, baby, you got what I need. Torres market has shut down amid wild reactions across the dark web, with a section of users applauding the site for not pulling an exit scam, while others noting a possible law enforcement action. Yeah, seems like that could be an issue. Here's what the site looked like. I screenshotted it. Do you see what I see? Here's what I see. 5 times 20 milligrams of Pikachu limited stock. Those look like Presties. New powder ketamine, 5 grams, free UK delivery. Trying to read through fuzzy snapshot. 1 gram of high purity sociable cocaine. Apparently makes you sociable. 1 gram for $62. 1 gram. I guess if it was pure, it's decent. If it's crap, it's definitely not worth it. Cheapest on the market. 1 gram of coke, 90% Colombian cocaine. That's impressive, actually. $110. Market prices are usually for 3.5 grams, somewhere between $150 and $180. But that's a market price in a hub area where that shit is stepped on and it's all garbage anyways. You got to be very, very, very careful. I don't recommend that you do unless you're testing things. If you have a reagent testing kit where you can actually test the chemicals and make sure they are what they're purported to be, and not wind up snorting fentanyl and dying. There was 100,000 fentanyl deaths last year. 100,000 fentanyl deaths. Remember, they say what fentanyl is 100 times or 1,000 times stronger than heroin. I know. I've taken fentanyl prescription. I had a patch that I had to wear, and I wore 150 micrograms. And they said, don't let your children touch you at all on this arm. Always keep it covered. They can die. I'm not kidding. They gave this to me because I had a tumor in my spine and I couldn't walk, but still I had that My children could die if they hug me. That's not a good thing. 1 gram of MDMA Moon Rock natural product, 85 to 87% pure, $50. 1 gram, that'll make you 10 hits approximately of MDMA. Apparently, 4 grams of sociable cocaine. Sociable. It's not medical. I mean, you can snort it. $175. That seems better. It's probably the purity is probably better. 4 to 5 grams of high quality cocaine. But look at this. It's literally, these places are just set up to buy this stuff like it's any other market, you know? Any other market. No big deal. Buy it, they'll mail it to your house. Give you the exchange and everything. So let's see what happened to this place. Torres Market announced that it is retiring from conducting any dark web business. In an announcement that was published on the Dread Forum, Torres admin revealed that the marketplace will not be accepting new orders as all pre-existing orders will be, and as all pre-existing orders will be shipped out. After 675 days of presence on the darknet, we decided to close our door for good. From 2021-12-17, certain functions of the market have been disabled. Registering, upgrading to vendor account, purchasing, featured items, auction support. Market wallets are working fine and are ready to get your withdrawal requests. Because we use fully automated systems, please be ready for queues when it comes to the withdrawal. We especially expect the queue on XMR withdrawals because of how XMR is built. Market will be left online for at least 2 to 3 weeks until all orders are finalized and disputes are closed. We will review the disputes on a daily basis so you can withdraw your funds as quick as possible. Torres Market staff also informed users that forgot their mnemonic PIN, password, PGP to be aware that they will have to lose their account and funds. Never forget your backup data, guys, for anything. He added that for users whose deposits did not arrive after the announcement, they should realize that they got fished. Some reality applies to users that paid for an order and cannot find it on the Torres list. And highlight, the Torres Market staff member asked new refugees to use common sense when looking for a new home by avoiding established markets, but rather consider smaller darknet platforms that have very low chance of collapsing. In closing, they revealed that while the marketplace may be gone for good, there's a possibility that its creators will return to the dark web scene with a different product. The staff member went on to intimate that they will still be reachable for comment via Dread's system, although he cautioned that about giving no warranty to the messages will be read or answered. That's interesting. So it sounds like probably the feds got in front of these guys and, I don't know, had some leverage to at least get them to shut down and stop. So that's interesting. All these things are happening anonymously. So pros and cons about doing things on the dark web. If you want to do things that are illegal, like buy meds that are not prescribed to you, you can do it. Cons. If you get caught, it's a crime. You can go to jail. That's a fact. If you are ingesting things that are illegal, no matter what, whether through your brain or through your body, well, you run the risk of going to jail. If you want to look at this stuff because it's interesting, you are welcome to do it. I think other than child porn, certain capital things, you should not look at it. You should not have it on your computer. But this period, because just don't even look at it out of curiosity. Because here's the thing. I guess I'm a true libertarian that I believe that certain things that are illegal shouldn't still be illegal, because the amount of destruction and horror that happens amongst communities and people, it's no worse whether it's legal or not. Actually, it tends to be worse, because you create a criminal society where you criminalize things that are going to happen anyway. And the use of adulterants has happened since time immemorial. And when the CIA and the government doesn't like how things are going in a particular area, they'll go ahead and carpet bomb them with drugs and drug kings and go ahead and destroy those communities. And they've done it over time, and we know this. It happens. It's a fact. It's not conjecture. It's a fact. So you're going to be manipulated one way or the other, whether something is legal or illegal. Are there anything such? Is there any such thing as a victimless crime? I don't know, but are there always going to be victims no matter what? I guarantee you. And yeah, I guarantee you, no matter what. So I don't know. I've never purchased drugs online before, ever. And this is a true statement, ever. I'm not interested in getting myself caught up in that sort of stuff. What I'm curious about those how things work. That's what I want to know. I like to know how things work. I'm not going to have an opinion on something unless I actually know. Just so you know, if you haven't figured out how I'm wired yet, I will not hold an opinion unless I know. And there are a lot of people who hold opinions, and that includes politics, that includes vaccines, that includes COVID, that includes everything. They hold an opinion very strongly, but they don't actually know what the fuck they're talking about. Because researching doesn't mean Googling that topic and looking for confirmation bias. That's not actually researching. Researching is when you study something independently in order to find how it functions, and then taking that and then having it reproduced by other people in the exact same way to prove that it works. And then if you were to publish it in a peer-reviewed article that would then be covered to say this is fact, and that's actually science and research. Looking for shit on social media or Google that backs up your perspective is not research. That's called Googling shit. So my opinions are based on my own investigation of it, independent of whoever might formulate an opinion otherwise. So you can always feel free to ask me if I take a side on something. It's not lightly, and if I tend to make more noise about the people who are forcing lies and propaganda into your head and telling you that the sky is down and the ground is up. That sort of stuff pisses me off more than anything. I don't mind where you fall on the spectrum. My girlfriend has never tried drugs ever. She's anti-drugs 100%, and she sounds like a walking public service announcement for the anti-drug culture, and it makes me laugh. I giggle. Actually, I love it. But our goals are the same when it comes to our kids. I don't want my kids to be drug addicts. I don't want them taking drugs. I don't. There are some things that I am tolerant about. If my son is using marijuana, I'm not concerned with that. I'm not, because I know the bullshit and the lies that was behind it. Because from the majority of my life, I've had access to it at some point, although I don't like it. Marijuana is not the fucking Mexican devil weed, and all the bullshit around it has been false. It's actually helpful to him for some conditions he has. But yeah, my girlfriend, Rebecca, my better half, the love of my life, the woman, she will just declare emphatically, like, drugs are bad and that person is ruining their life. I'm like, no, they're not. And no, drugs are not bad. She's like, what do you mean? They're not bad. Drugs are not bad. People are bad. Well, not all people are bad. Okay, people who use drugs are bad. Well, I mean, not all of them. Like, you can't say that the substance is bad if we're not going to say the person is equally bad. If we're going to believe that people are inherently good, then you can't say that drugs are inherently bad. But yes, they are. They ruin lives, and the people ruin lives. It's funny. She was like, is this going to be our first major point of conflict? I'm like, not even conflict, because we agree on the same outcome, which is we want our children to make good decisions. We want them to come out the other side. We want them to be well-informed and safe, and we want them to not be hooked on drugs. She's like, yes. So if I found out one of my kids did drugs, it would kill me. I'm like, why? Why? You're asking your kids for their entire lives to have blind faith in you. But at the same time, we would say that if our children not fall from grace, but they fall from faith and decide they want to be little pagan dirt worshippers and, have midnight seances and whatnot, we understand that inherently, because as teenagers, we most of us have doubted our faith at some point. Most. But if our children are doubting their faith, we say, hey, that's okay. God is there for you still, whether you believe it or not right now. And Jesus will be there for you too. You don't have to have faith. You just remember that you're loved. We have this faith that they'll be okay when they come back to what they were taught and they believe. That's okay. But you want them to have faith in you that you say drugs are bad, and it would break your heart if they even tried it. Children will not have faith in their mom. They will not have faith in their dad, just like they won't have faith in God or Jesus. They're going to have times when they don't believe any of it because it's called growing up. And to me, my problem with approaching drugs like it's the devil is the same thing as approaching religion like it's infallible, because it's not. And if you bullshit your kids to the point where they start testing in life, and they find out that it's all a lie or it's all failable, where does that leave them if they have nothing to hold on to? Say, well, agree to disagree. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. We can agree to disagree. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, I don't want my kids to be on drugs. And I don't want my kids to be peer pressured by somebody into doing them. I don't want them to be uninformed. I want them to make a decision based on their confidence, not make a decision based on pressure. I think is what's more likely going to happen. I think what's more likely going to happen is our kids may get in a situation where they're more likely to be pressured to try something because it's cool. But if they don't know why they don't want to try it, they can't say because of my mom or because of Jesus. That doesn't play well when you're a rebellious teenager. I can't do that because of my mom or my Jesus. I want my kids to say, no, no thanks. I've looked into it, but I'll be honest with you. I think cocaine is stupid. It's overpriced, and it really hurts people in South America. Like, give them a reason why it's bad. It's great if you're having a nose job done, but it's not so good for partying because most of it has been cut from 90% pure down to like 10% pure, and you're just snorting garbage and possibly fentanyl, and you're going to die. I'm not willing to risk it. If I had lab tested pure cocaine, I might try it, but I'm not going to. Oh, like just have some knowledge, at least in their heart, for when they say no, thank you. They know they have a point of view if they have to express it. And that point of view is stronger than my mom or God, both of which they don't trust at that given point. In my approach, I'm not saying it's the best approach, my logical approach. My daughters are not interested at all. From what I can tell, what I can gather, I listen to them, I'm talking to them actually. They tried it a little bit, weren't interested, didn't like it, like pot. The other ones they're scared of. And I'm fine with that. Stay scared. My son who's not scared of anything, I'm like, let's talk about every single drug in the wild they work. And he smokes little pot, plays video games. And he's an adult. And he gets straight A's in college. I'm good with that. So, do your research. Have an idea what you're talking about. Better instructors than I have done the work on, on documentaries and videos to teach you all about this stuff. Check it out. All right. That's it, man. That is my box of soap. I didn't expect to go 2 hours or even get that far into it, but feeling pretty confident. I don't think we broke any rules. It's there. This is all. Everyone has access to this information. If you're a conspiracy theorist and you'd like to go look at some conspiracy theory channels, I found one. I don't know how it got into my DuckDuckGo tab. I have a feeling that the dark web sent it to me. I'm not kidding. It's called Jabba Jabba. I don't know how I got here. I don't drink, so I know I wasn't like drunk and accidentally wound up here. I really feel like it got pushed to me. Jabba. It's called Jabba. I'll show you this real quick, and then we'll be done. This is Jabba. This is home. You saw that said Epstein crime map. Ocular Delusions Video Archive, Jabba Reading Archive, Jabba Dark Radio. The Hillary child sex tape is worse than you can imagine. Multiple sources within the FBI and the NYPD had confirmed the existence of a sickening Hillary Clinton sex tape involving Shuma Abedin and an underage teenage girl, and provided assurance that a faction within the department had vowed to send Hillary Clinton to jail for the rest of her life. So starting there's every other conspiracies, cover-ups, our history. Forum, there's documentaries, there's Epstein stuff, there's Hollywood and its satanic cabal, the Illuminati, all sorts of stuff on there if you want to go take a look at it. Somebody I know claims that they unfortunately had an opportunity to see that video that I just spoke of. It's purported as like a QAnon myth. This person would have no reason to ever exaggerate any of these things. This person, I don't know, it was sent to her somehow, got access. And they said, clear as day, without a doubt, it was real, 100%. Clear as day, real. The people that were purported to be in this video with this teenage girl were, and they absolutely did horrible things to this young person, including cutting her face off with a sharp knife while she was alive and eating it. And she brought it up one time, started crying hysterically, and said, I can't unsee it. I can't unsee it. I can't unsee it. I wish I had never seen it. I didn't want to see it. Someone showed it to me. I didn't want to see it. Dark web, I'm sure, has the video. I know it does. All the stuff that's hidden. Sorry. There's a government coming in my back door. All the stuff that you hear as rumor and innuendo, it's out there, and then it's just hidden because the news isn't going to talk about it anymore. They don't want you guys to think about it. You find conspiracy websites on the ClearNet, they'll show you the stuff that they can without getting shut down. They'll tell you about everything otherwise. And if you're curious, I say curiosity killed the cat, but you decide. You decide if you want to know or not know. Some stuff I don't want to know. I've searched for videos in the past in my life that I didn't want to know. And I saw it and I thought, oh God, that's too bad. But now you guys know how to get to the dark web. If you want to find out whether or not Hillary Clinton cut the face off a teenage girl and ate it, people have purported to see it, including somebody close to me. So it's up to you. Go find it. Tell a friend. It's on you. Maybe it's all myth. Maybe it's all bullshit. It could very well be. Somehow I doubt it. So, Shelf Help Show. It wasn't a lot about Shelf Help. It was about the darkness in the darkness tonight. Check out www.theshelfhelpshow.com. There are some links to some goods and services, some fun and some toys. I'm always working on updating that stuff. Like, follow. We're on YouTube, Twitch, and your mom. Your mom likes it. Smash your mom. And what else? Send a carrier pigeon with $5 to me. Oh, good news. Guys, our ad spend has finally made it to $96, which means we get paid at $100. We're $4 away. So follow, subscribe, and watch the ads if they're there. We'll get some mileage on that, and I'll actually be able to pay for something that I used 5 months ago. But hell, shit. Here's the thing. I just remembered this. I do affiliate marketing. Yeah, I'm gonna be fine. I do affiliate marketing. I'm a business since I'm running commercials. Everything that I've paid towards the show this year is tax deductible. Everything I paid into the show, equipment, rental space in my house, time spent, fake salary that I pay myself. All that stuff is tax deductible. The money that I send my one spouse gets for alimony is all tax deductible. Yeah. If you don't do it for the fun and you don't do it for the passion, do it for the tax write-offs, motherfuckers. It's a business. I made $100 and I spent $4,000. See what happens. I got to give myself holiday pay. I'm going to employ my son. As a moderator. Do I pay him? I do. Do I have to cover 2 weeks of vacation and 4 weeks of sick? I do. That's all tax deductible. I employ my entire family as employees. I'm allowed to employ minor children over the age of 12. Force them to take time off and have to pay for it. It's true. We'll do a tax benefit business show another night. All right, guys. Have a good night. Be well. Love yourselves. And love one another, and then love yourselves.